We're in the middle of 21. If I remember correctly, we were in the middle of 21. So just after all this time, I guess we should go back. Okay, so we do the leif tov. First has to make a cheshvan nefesh. To what level? To where he could reach in avodas Hashem. Now the yeshiva I work in now gets a lot of boys from Waterbury, and there's like a real dirty word that's called potential. You're not allowed to say that. That's like everyone. It's thrown at any guy going through the system, not reaching your potential. You could do better. Okay, right. That's like a dirty word when someone throws it at you. But Chovos haLevavos says a person has to make it when you do it with yourself. You got to look yourself in the mirror and you have to be honest and see where your potential really is. If you don't know where your potential is, then you're not going to fulfill it, right? So a person has to take a real look at himself. And that person has to custom himself to do that. Okay, you know what your potential is. You have to custom yourself. And be involved with it regularly. And be quick to do it. Until that becomes your lifestyle. That's what you do. And then you try to stretch. I guess maybe we're just learning these parshas with Basya. The Navi, her name is really Bisya, the daughter of Pari, right? She stretched her hand out to get. She saw this child crying in the river, and so she couldn't reach, but she did what she could, and then she tried, to do as much. And Chazal tells her hand stretched. Because if I remember correctly, Rav Matisyo here says it's a little bit of a contradiction. You're saying that you're doing your utmost. He says, L'chura yev shalasis can on page Vav. What do you mean I'm going to now try to do more than I can? That's self-contradictory. I'm already doing everything I can. So how could a person do more than he can? So it says Rav Matisyo, and we should be learning this Chusai. I forgot his name, but I put it down. I understand that he's not very well. So certainly we could learn the Chus Matisyo Chaim ben Etel. Okay, Matisyo, we learn the Chus of Matisyo Chaim ben Etel. Ochen achidush b'zeu shebe'emes habar yisparach yochel lechananoi b'avoni yiser b'toira. Kadosh Baruch Hu could give you more abilities, right? We know Hashem is Ein Sof, and He can grant lechananoi is an expression of giving it to you for free, granting it to you. Atachoinen lodem das chanina, pardon. Just granted it with a deeper, an extra understanding in Torah l'hoysav ha'koyach sichle v'daitoi. And add to your abilities of understanding. Give you more physical abilities. They should be able to learn even more. And he could also give you a better parnasa. Actually, you won't have to be that involved, putting in that much effort and that much time, quality, quantity, in getting your needs, your physical needs, and therefore by Desi Aponi, you'll have more time to learn. Until now, I couldn't learn more because not only was I at at my most ability, this is all I could understand. This is what Hashem granted me, but I also was limited by time. How much time can I invest in the learning if I'm busy all day working? So Hashem could also do that. He could give you an easier parnasa. But the Chovos haLevavos explains to us, when can I hope to get to the beyond? So that's what he says. He goes on and says here in the Sefer, Person should try to go in further levels of avodas Hashem that are beyond his present ability. You have to have a real longing. You want it. You want it very badly. And then you'll make plans. How could I? Let's see where I could do more. And to ask with a real kenas, a real truth, a real from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Matspuna, Shiazo, that Hashem should help. You have to daven. The Amit says, Koiche, and give me more strength, that I should have to go above my abilities, be dear over myself. So it's in our hands, he's saying. If I really want it, and I either believe that I should be able to get more and do more, then it happens. Because Shuyasa says, Talmud, when you do this regularly, Hashem will fulfill your requests. Open up the gates of your knowledge, strengthen your ability of thought, and your physical abilities. You can make it that you need less sleep, and if you have more time, mitzvahs that you should then go level by level, fulfilling the mitzvah. Pasuk says that Hashem is the one who teaches us; He leads us. Rav Matisyahu points out that the tefillah that we're davening for is it's mitoich leiv. I'm not doing it to get honor. I don't want people. It's from a pure heart. I just want to be able to serve Hashem more. I'm doing my best, and I want to do more. And I'm davening Hashem should give me that ability. And then he says Hashem will lead him madrega achar madrega. And here Tisho explains that that's the way a person has to grow. He has to go level by level. Sometimes we have people who go to an extreme, but then they end up falling. You got to build yourself. You have to go step by step. He says, let's take a little example. We met in Ilma, for now we'll learn further. A person feels he needs 10 hours to sleep. Well, if you need 10 hours of sleep, you're cutting in majorly into the amount of time you have to serve Hashem. You're sleeping 10 hours of your day. וגם מספר ידי זה, על זה, ואז ימציא לו הבויר בקשוסו, וימצא שיוכל לשמוע בריאוסו, ידי שנת שמונה שויס. So you could daven, that Hashem should help you here. And then you could find that suddenly 8 hours is enough. I feel good, I wake up aware and awake and ready to go, and I have strength the whole day just from 8 hours.
Who's deciding how many hours you need?
You are deciding.
Okay, so
at this point, you can't seem to put put in a decent day without 10 hours of sleep. You don't get 10 hours of sleep, you're lethargic the whole day, you're falling asleep in middle. You need 10 hours of sleep. Okay, that's a fact. It's a physical fact. But if a person's pushing himself and then he davens Hashem to help him go further, right? He's mishtoikek, he wants him to serve Hashem, and he knows that 10 hours sleep's a lot of sleep. It's only leaving him 14 hours, and from 14 hours you got to daven and you got to eat. It's not leaving you that much. And he davens, he may find that Hashem will grant it him. He'll find that he doesn't need any more 10 hours. He could do it less, 9 hours, gets 8 hours. And then he has an extra 2 hours, and then he could go further. And then Vakach Yitok, and she's Hashek Yitzal Hashem. A person at that point might say, wow, this is unbelievable. I want more. And he'll find, if he davens and he asks and he wants it, for the right reasons, that 6 hours is enough. And that's how he goes. But if you're going to go from 10 hours and say, okay, so I'm going to 3 hours, you're going to collapse. He says the same thing is true in everything. He says if you're learning a thesis and you're really working hard, and still you put everything into it, you do it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, it's not going. So Yuchel Ispal Hashem Yisbarach Sheyiftach Leishar Yediyah, able to daven that Hashem should open up your mind. This is it. I'm at the max of my mind. My mind is limited. I can't understand more. I've tried. I've put all my strength in. I'm sitting here long time, again and again and again. I can't do it. So then the answer is you could daven. And we hear stories of the Gedolim who did this. That they would actually daven, they would give tzedakah, they would go to the side and daven that Hashem should open up their hearts, their minds. They would sign your they hasoga v'yediyah gedol yosef b'Torah. Hashem could open your mind. He could give you more knowledge. And he says this is not only as far as limud HaTorah, can gam can be asiyas hamitzvos. You have in your heart, you're a Baal Chesed. You want to give a lot of tzedakah, and you're actually maxing the amount of tzedakah you could give. And it really, you want to give more. So Yochel Lichseif, you could long v'lispalo and daven she'ashpil of Hashem Yisbarach harbe. Hashem should give you more. There's Yochel Lefazi Yosef tzedakah. Right? But again, it has to be with a true heart, with a true will. And they say over about Rabbi Yelevin, tzaddik in our time, famous tzaddik in Yerushalayim, that he was quite a Talmud Chacham, it seems. In fact, they published his parish on Mishnayos. He was a Talmud of Baruch Ber in Europe. He was quite a Talmud Chacham. And but everyone knows that he was like the Baal Chesed. He loved every Jew, Baal Chesed. And he was in a dilemma because it was taking away time from his learning, and he really wanted to learn. He went to ask the Leshem. That was Rav Elyashu's grandfather. The Leshem was a famous Makubal that came from Europe, tremendous big person. He wrote a sefer, Leshem, Shvav Achlama. It's called the Leshem. And he asked him, am I doing wrong? Because by doing all this chesed, my learning is minimized. And if I remember correctly, he said, if you see success in what you're doing, it's a siman b'shamayim, that's where your avodas Hashem is. And, he was very, very famous, and he brought back many Jews to Torah and mitzvahs out of his love of every Jew. In any case, you can have a tremendous desire to help other people, and you're limited. It's the same thing, says Ratzio. This is including what the Chovos haLevavos says, that I could daven, that I should be able to go beyond my present abilities. Ukshiyasmit. Let's go further. No, we said that already. Well, let's see. V'kasher Yasu, so he's telling me we do this regularly. Aborim alas bakashosa. Hashem fulfill your requests. V'yiftach le'eshari yediyosai, open up the gateways of your knowledge. V'yachazek asifloi, he'll strengthen your mind as a vorev. Your body, lalish darga chadarga. So you should go level by level, step by step. V'kiyum mitzvahs, in the fulfillment of the mitzvah shein l'malim yachoto, that are beyond your present ability. He says, and we can see this even outside the sphere of avodas Hashem, someone who's learning a profession. You start based on your understanding, you can only do a certain amount. What does that mean? When your understanding of what you're learning is strengthened, and you put in the time, Hashem gives you the wisdom to understand it more thoroughly. And based on that, you're able to take it to a new level, able to create new ideas and new concepts. No one taught it to you. So where did it come from? Inventions. I guess that's what it sounds like he's talking about. Where did it come from? I was listening to a little snapple. And Torah Masora had a convention, and one of the courses that they were giving was some guy, a physicist, Dr. Presser, I think his name is. I think, and he's a real expert in the stars and the galaxies. But he works in Bell Laboratories. They're like a famous thing, I think. And he's the one, him and his chabur, but I think he was the one that credited to figure out how to use. What did they do? They sent through lasers through these thin wires. What is it called? Oh man, I forgot. Because he came up with this tremendous breakthrough that the Chinese were working on it for years. The Japanese, they couldn't how to do it. It's like a major communication tool. He was interviewed by I think the Wall Street Journal, and he said, "I'm only willing to be interviewed if you promise to write exactly what I say." And they said, "Of course." They says, "But that So they come and they say, "Well, how did you come to do this? Like, how did you discover this or invent this?" And he started saying, "I didn't. It was a gift from God." And they said, "Come on, we can't write that. Like, how did you discover it?" He says, "It was a gift from God." I said, "No, we can't write that." He said, "Okay, interview over." Right? But he really understood exactly what it's saying here. How did he come to it? Like, where did it pop into his head? You know what I mean? In his mind until then, it wasn't there. Where does it come from? We're accustomed to think, "Oh, I thought of it. But we're seeing here, it's not true. You didn't think of it. Hashem granted you that concept. If you thought of it, then you would have thought of it beforehand. If it was already there, right? That's what he's saying here. He's saying that then you could be machadish things that you didn't learn from anyone. Well, if you didn't learn from anyone, so how are you machadish? That's Hashem granting you to go beyond what you have, what you're able to do. He says if someone's learning a knowledge, I think we said that's really like, today it's engineering, but I think it's like math or something. What do you say? Let's see what it says in English here. 21. Mathematics. The master of geometry cannot teach a student the theoretical lessons in abstract concepts. Rather, he will first teach him concrete geometric drawings as Euclides organized them in his book of mathematics. When the student understands well and desires to grasp its branches with diligence and interest, the Creator will help enlighten him on the subject and establish a general understanding. And then he'll be able to bring forth from this wondrous forms and fine works which appear almost divinely inspired. Right? Where did it come from? Where did that concept come from? Being that we know so little about how the brain works, really, we don't know how the brain really works, so we don't understand this. But where is it? Where is it in the brain? Where's the thought process in the brain? Where's everything in the brain? It's divinely inspired that you have this idea. He's saying in the Hebrew. You can't teach them the abstract concepts, which is not abstract. He has all kind of drawings. After you know that, he wants to know more, but giving himself over to it, as Hadoram Chadoshim, then Hashem gives him the understanding of Hachim Gamas Handosa Yunis. That's a gift from Hashem. Says, so he's able to invent, come up with, based on his what he knows. It's almost a prophecy. Almost a prophecy. Maybe it's a little bit beget at Chacham of the Navi. Maybe it's part of that. The Chacham Gemara says the Chacham greater than the Navi. It's also, it seems to be divinely inspired. A person gives himself over, he finds in his heart a spiritual koyach. It's God gift. It's God gifted. Okay. So we'll stop here, and we'll continue tomorrow.